Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of MarkTrys. Now, what this channel is going to be about is taking a look at common everyday items or activities that you have around your house, going into the history of them, and at the end of it, I'm either going to try eating it or the activity, and I'll let you know what it tastes like or what it feels like or what it's all about. Now, our very first episode is going to be about baby food. Now, I'm sure that doesn't sound appetizing to anyone because it certainly doesn't to me, but the history of baby food is actually extremely interesting. Most people think of it as a 20th century invention where, people started having, both parents having to work and they needed something quick and fast. And that's actually not correct. There is a long history of different types of baby foods, and we're going to get into all that. And at the end of it, you're going to get to see me eat different types, different layers of or timings of baby food. The first one's going to be uh, beef and beef gravy. Yeah, it doesn't sound that appetizing, but who knows? The second is going to be applesauce. I'll dig on that a while. And the last, and I actually don't know what this is, but it kind of looks like Orange Julius. So, okay. So stick around and you'll get to learn the history of something and you'll get to watch me eat beef and beef gravy. Yeah.
Welcome to MarkTrys, where we try things so you don't have to.
Since the beginning of recorded history, people have been creating food to serve babies. What was served and how it was made was a function of culture, cuisine, and economic status. Babies in ancient Egypt thrived on different foods from those in Greece, medieval England, or feudal Japan, although many usually incorporated some form of ground up grains like oats, rice, or barley, and some kind of liquid, which sounds suspiciously like the kids were drinking beer. Up until the middle of the 19th century, infant food was generally made at home. Recipes and instructions for feeding babies were sometimes found in cookbooks like Sarah Josepha Hale's 1852 book, Cookery for Children. On a side note, we have Sarah to thank for both Thanksgiving being a holiday and the poem Mary Had a Little Lamb, although after learning more about Sarah, I'm beginning to think that poem may have actually been on how to cook lamb. In 1867, both Liesbig soluble food for babies and Nestle's milk food started selling artificial baby food. Much of this was spurred on by the advances in chemistry by the scientist Baron Justus von Liebig. Baron Justus figured that if food was simply a combination of protein, carbohydrates, and fats, then he could simply combine each of these and create a substance whose chemical makeup was virtually identical to that of mother's milk, if not in quite as appealing of a container. So Liebig introduced Liebig soluble food for babies to the European market, with it being introduced to America by 1869. Soon, doctors were proclaiming these foods to be superior to that of a wet nurse, which I'm sure many men to this day would disagree with. At the same time, Henry Nestle started creating his own baby food from cow's milk and sugar, which, as we all know, are two of the main food groups for healthy children. Nestle and his friend Jean Balthasar Schnetzler, a scientist in human nutrition, removed the starch and acid in wheat flour because they were too difficult for babies to digest. Initially called Kindermehl, which is German for baby cereal, his product had an advantage over Liebig's, and that it was much easier to prepare, only needing to be boiled prior to feeding, and it soon proved to be a viable option for infants who were unable to breastfeed. By the 1870s, over 500,000 boxes of Nestle's infant food were selling in the US, Europe, Argentina, and the Dutch East Indies. By the 1920s, infant foods, which had grown to encompass ready-made baby cereals, fruits and vegetables, malted milk, and chocolate pudding, were promoted as convenience items. Many companies capitalized on the idea of modern scientific feeding and the superiority of manufactured items over homemade ones. because somehow chocolate pudding is more scientifically advanced than home cooked food. I mean, I'm okay with that. In 1927, Daniel Frank Gerber urged his father to start producing baby food at their cannery in Fremont, Michigan. This idea came from seeing his wife making hand-strained food for their daughter Sally and seeing a business opportunity in mass producing it. By 1928, he had created 5 products for the market: beef vegetable soup and strained peas, prunes, carrots, and spinach. I personally think I would have gone back to the chocolate pudding, but that's just me. 6 months later, Gerber's Baby Foods were distributing nationwide. The brand eventually became a major company in the baby food industry, offering more than 190 products in 80 countries with labeling in 16 languages. After World War II, there was a large uptick in the amount of children being given commercially made baby food. At its height, 90% of American babies were being fed baby food made from one of the giants of prepared canning like Gerber, Beech-Nut, and Nestle's. This was due in large part to the baby boomers being born and canned baby foods being seen by a rapidly industrializing culture as more civilized and modern than liquid formulas. In 1960, Gerber started selling its baby food in the now famous glass jars, which often found new life as household storage, especially in some home workshops to hold valuable items, like your granddad's shot of whiskey. Just don't tell your grandma. Soon after, other items such as pacifiers, baby balls, and baby toys were also introduced. Also in the 1960s, and partially due to the Cold War, the prevailing wisdom became that children as young as 24 hours old should start being fed solid food, due to the idea that commercially available solid foods were better for babies than formula, and would contribute to having stronger, healthier, and more competitive babies, because apparently we really wanted to beat those commies in the baby Olympics. The demand from parents for organic food also began to grow in the late 60s. Since then, many larger commercial manufacturers have introduced organic lines of infant food. With newer research, the 70s and 80s saw a big pushback from the notion of solid foods being given to babies before 9 months of age. They also see consumers becoming more aware of the health issues of putting high amounts of salt, sugar, and other questionable ingredients in their baby food. It also sees the major companies do away with baby food desserts, which used to be a very prevalent category. By the 1990s, many baby food companies started to move towards a more natural, healthier, pre-made baby food. Much of this was due to the rise in boutique baby food companies taking away market shares. Gerber even entered the sugar-free food market with the sugar-free vanilla custard flavor, favorable to diabetic babies. Although the product never really performed as Gerber had hoped, they're still sitting on top of the baby food pyramid with 83% of the market share. Since the turn of the millennium, the major baby food makers have begun to adapt to the contemporary food landscape by introducing more unique fruits, vegetables, and grains, primarily due to the rise of startup boutique baby food companies that have come up that are specifically making organic food with modern flavor combinations. Some of these upstart companies are giving larger baby food makers a run for their money. One of the new factors in baby food tech is the aluminum pouch delivery system. These pouches are portable, flexible, and considered part of the future of the baby food industry. You can take it yourself and squeeze it on a spoon, or when the infant's old enough to grasp, you can just hand the pouch to your baby and the infant can suck on it themselves. As of 2015, the baby food industry has an annual market total of $55 billion worldwide, with $7 billion of that coming from America alone, with another $653 million for organic baby food, and is the largest growing sector of the baby food market. So remember, the next time you give your little bundle of unbridled home destruction and love an aluminum pouch filled with tasty goodness made with organic GMO-free bananas, you have a baron, a candy company, and a glass jar to thank. Okay everyone, I hope you enjoyed learning about the history of baby food as much as I enjoyed researching it. And who would have ever thought chocolate pudding was a baby food? And why didn't anyone ever tell my mom that? Okay, it's on to the taste test.
Okay, so the way we're going to do this taste test is basically I'm going to start at what is probably going to be the best, which is applesauce, and then go on to the Orange Julius looking thing that we now have learned is an aluminum pouch. And then the last one will be the beef and beef gravy. Now, originally, I was not going to do that. Originally, I was going to do it in order of what I said earlier on in the video. However, the house lord, aka my wife, has informed me that I copped out by getting the applesauce because it's something I wanted anyways, and I should save the worst one for last. So here we go. Let's get it open. 10% rule. You gotta be 10% smarter than the thing you're trying to operate, and I am not. Okay. Good enough. Wow, that does not smell amazing. I gotta tell you. That does. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, it's children's applesauce. Not bad. Not bad. Not, you know, chocolate pudding, but it's not bad. Okay. Well, one more bite and then we're gonna move on to the pouch. Oh, and by the way, I am using my daughter's little spoon because I figured it kind of went with the whole baby theme, everything. And it would also make sure I didn't have to take giant bites of this stuff. Okay, yeah, not bad. All right, now, orange banana. All right, let's see how that is. Thank you. All right. That smells horrible, actually. That smells really bad. Okay, let's give it a shot. And you can see the consistency is like toothpaste. It's not the most appetizing looking thing. Doesn't smell exactly amazing either, but we'll give it a shot. All right. Well, all right. Let's maybe it was just a bad first take. Let's try it again. Cheers. Nope, I'm pretty sure that tastes horrible. Oh, oh wow. Okay, one more. No wonder kids cry so much. Feed them this. Holy crap. Well, the important thing is it's very nutritious for children, as we learned in the video, but I'm not going to say it's the tastiest thing any kid has ever had. All right. Now here's the big boy, the beef and beef gravy. After the last two, how bad could this one be? All right, let's give it a shot. Have you ever taken wet cat food and put it on a bowl for your cat and you get that little whiff of it when you first open it? Yep. All right. Look at that. Oh crap, it's getting on my computer. Okay. All right. Yeah. Um, I thank the good Lord I am not a baby anymore. I'm I That's horrible. That is god awful horrible. I okay. One more. I'm doing 3 bites of each, so okay. Oh my god. All right. That was two. Okay, so at least it's nutritious. These are all very nutritious for children. But let me just say, those kids in the 1800s have no idea how good they had it because they got chocolate pudding. And I just had to stomach cat food, wet cat food. Okay, all right. I'm not. I'm sure it's extremely nutritious for children. It's very good, but it makes me want to go hug my toilet like it's my old friend I ain't seen in a year. Okay, so there you go. Mark has tried baby food.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching the very first episode of MarkTrys. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like and a comment down in the bottom. Also, subscribe to the channel because I'll be releasing new episodes of MarkTrys every Monday. I'll also be releasing episodes of Mark Reviews on Wednesdays and Fridays. The Wednesday shows are actually going to be about reviewing home goods, things like electronics or furniture, different things that are just common around your house, and just reviewing those and letting you know what I think of them. The Friday episodes are actually going to be about my more nerdier side, things like comic books, video games, pop culture news, things like that. Okay, well, I'm off to find my kind of baby food, which is obviously chocolate pudding. So thanks again for watching because I am DONE done. See ya.
Thank you for watching Mark Tries, because without this channel, Mark's wife would kill him.